All right, family. All right, all right, all right. What's going on out there, family? This morning, this Friday morning, April the 4th, 2025. We in April, family, right? Shout out, happy April, right? Springtime has sprung as of March the 21st, the way that we divide time here. I hope y'all, family, are having a powerful and impactful, a blessed and awesome Friday, the beginning to the weekend. Again, we made it to another time of rest, family, right? Family, welcome in us who are the 1100 plus strong, ever rising, who believe in, who love on, who love after, who seek after. Because you got to go running for this thing too. It's not just a thing where it's something that's deeply seated in you. You then must go seek out. Seek and you will find, right? For those who love after, for those who seek for, hunger and thirst for that which is a different view, family, welcome in. Today's topic, we're going to pick, not going to have a big old conversation because, again, like with most of this is a very basic conversation. Let me do this real quick because your boy forgot. Very quick to get on the mic and start talking. Forgot to kill the sound. So my apologies there for that, family. Last couple of days I've been better on that, but my apologies there. We got some water, right? So we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep the vocal cords lubricated, and speak on some things, y'all. This really goes for any belief of the world, but we shine. We like to, again, we speak from where we are. And many times, y'all, I don't bring up different references of other beliefs of the world, or haven't just yet. Let me say it that way. Because the foundation of the conversation has got to start in a place here that's set much division. Not like what it says in scriptures talking about division, like I come to set a sword and an offense and all that. We're not talking about that. Okay, because this is just kind of, matter of fact, while we're talking here, let me look this up. This has nothing to do with, sorry, family, 1 second. Let me just, look this up. Yeah, and this is two totally different things. We're not talking about the natural balance that is something happens and then something happens. We're not talking about that, right? We're talking about where you sow in this you sow in division. Let me see if this popped it up there, and it didn't. It did not. So sorry about the dead air there, y'all. Just trying to find this thing. Maybe we'll put in a little bit of music here just to help with that little pause, to help with that pause right there. So there is scripture in the Bible here that deals in the enmity between the serpent and humans. Now, we're not just talking about the woman, okay? We're not just talking about the woman. Of course, you know the deception came to the blessed mothers, the life givers of this earth, right? We know this, okay? Yeah, I don't know how I missed that, right? So this is the judgment here as a result of all this mess, right? Adam is, again, there's much to learn in the beginning. The first book, family, there's so much to learn, right? Sometimes we get caught off on a lot of other things, but in the first book, there is much to uncover, much to learn, right? As we humbly look for knowledge to help us in this life. It's really to help us in this life. So this is Genesis 3. Out of the King James Version. Again, we go back to the scene of the crime because this is where as we say, this is where a lot of this stuff happened. So, and we hope this helps some folks. Okay, we've seen some good stuff here on the podcast. We've seen some growth. We've seen some people come in. I forgot I was remiss to not mention the 6 nations. So there's Oman, Russia, the UK, the United States, Poland. Let's see, United States, Russia, UK, Poland, Oman, and there's one. Gosh, my apologies, family. There's one other one that I'm missing, but I digress. Right? We're heard, and we're going to continue to be heard in many nations here. That's my hope. That's my prayer, family. Because again, the word of knowledge has got to get out. You know, whether we believe or all agree on everything, family, to allow that to set division inside our homes and inside our communities is very dangerous, and the man knows it. Okay. The enemy, right? As we say, the devil. Okay. And when we say the devil, we are not talking about that which is under the dirt that you cannot see. We're talking about your open enemy. This is what the word devil means. An adversary. You have people who have a very serious adversarial mindset to peace, decency, and order. And they sow in chaos. Now, while chaos is natural, we're not talking about that. We're talking about where you put in something extra. Unfortunately, something that our Christian brothers and sisters have dealt with. They are not the only belief. Okay. We have not talked about different beliefs of the world yet, but you got to start, right? And this is where I'm starting. Okay. So for those who have this complaint, like, oh, KJ, man, you always talk about Christians. This again, no different than the maker. The blame is everywhere. Okay. All have sinned means all, right? So verse 10, he heard the voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked. Nothing wrong with your nudity. You was afraid. But God didn't give you that fear. That was your own lack of action to listen to what's needing to be done, which was dress and keep the planet. And dress and keep the planet by not eating of things that you shouldn't, or not partaking of things that you shouldn't. Okay. This is not, please don't use what I'm saying right now as something else like, yeah, that's why these homosexuals and it. Please don't do that. It's not what we're talking about. Okay. Let go of the witch hunt. Massa gave you that witch hunt, just like he just just like he gave our native brothers and sisters that sick witch hunt to go after your black brothers and sisters, right? A lot of infighting. Again, war is confusion, family. That's not what we down here for. They're our brother. Same thing with our Latin brothers and sisters. This is why the scenes in Captain America: Brave New World, which is why it gets a bad rating. It's not all just a CGI and everything. It's a bias. People have a problem looking at the dark skin tone folks coming together in unity, y'all. And for anybody who, listen, if you love your dark skin, tan skin, again, as Benjamin Franklin said, tawny skin brother and sister, then you want to see them come together. You want to be a part of them coming together. This is the acid test, y'all. If y'all hear some thunder or anything wild, loud sounds, that it is raining here where I'm at. So you may or may not, which is a good thing, right? So yeah, how do you know you're naked? Basically, to get down all the way to verse 15, I will put imminent. Now this serpent, right? And again, the serpent was made by the maker, right? You go back chapter before, everything that's crawling on everything, every creeping thing, everything, right? Snakes is on it. Snakes are there too, family, okay? I know we don't like them. We get it, right? Jake the Snake Roberts made a whole career off of dealing with a big old python. We get it, okay? Oh, man. Actually, Vince gave him the idea and he ran with it, but still, that man put in the work, right? Jake Roberts. Shout out to Mr. DDT one time, man. You know, while we're on this subject, we'll just take a quick pivot here because we like to add in some things here just to let folks know your boy just doesn't talk about religious and belief things and philosophy and all that kind of thing. Cody Rhodes cooked John Cena this past Monday, guys. Yeah. So you got to understand when you're talking about wrestling. For some of us, for some of the family here, you're going to tune off, but just hang in. Just walk the road here for a second, right? John Cena and Vince McMahon's use of him pushed down a lot of wrestlers who should have been sharing the spotlight. But that's the name of the game when you're dealing with WWE, which is why you have so many promotions, so other people can have some time in the sun, y'all. Right? This monopolistic way we look at life is very dangerous. It's shared. So Cody, of course, who is the son of Dusty Rhodes, who was, who is the American dream. And when you talk about the American dream, it's about living here and sharing this world in peace, where hard work is actually rewarded and not exploited. There's a difference, right? Until we understand these things, we're going to have a problem. And that's the little thing that they play off of with this new with this promo here, I should say, between Rhodes and Cena, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. It calls back a little bit to Dusty and Ric Flair's stuff from the 70s and the 80s. For those of us on here of a certain age that remember the fighting feuds between Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes back in the day, it was nice to see. Superstar stories, something like that they show on A&E. You can find in different places, whether it's on the A&E app, Samsung Plus TV. It's pretty cool to see, right? And it just brings you back to a time. Again, you got to put yourself in remembrance, right? So again, this enmity, this in between, right? This undivided. Let's look at the word enmity here 1 second, just to give some clarity to those like KJ. What the hell is enmity, bro? Like what are you what are you saying? All right, cool. So we're gonna get into it here for a second. Again, the whole topic, what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, is really some of the things here in the beginning of April. That's really Minority Health Month is the one that we're taking today, but we're going to highlight some other things. The state of and right now at the moment we're just talking. We're just talking, we're just shooting the bobo, right? The state or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Some of the synonyms, similar words: friction, animosity, a feud, conflict, discord. We are not to sow discord, family, yet there is an actual enmity. There is see, this is what we talked about here with the truth and the lie when people get offended. I'm offended when somebody starts saying the truth of a thing, which we're going to say some truths today, right? It's offensive to the natural lie because that's the balance of things. That's why you can walk up in your job, you can walk up in your house, you can walk up anywhere, right? Through your neighborhood. When people got foolishness on the mind, y'all, it's already, it's opposed. It's the nature of things that people are partaking of that they should or should not, right? That's just the nature of it. Okay. And this is something that you have to understand. There are just certain things in this life that are going to be in a juxtaposition, as the word goes. It's an opposition to. Okay. So with that said, this verse here: I will put enmity between thee and the woman, right? Between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, thou shalt bruise his heel. Okay. This is just to understand the dichotomy here between, again, folks, some folks just have foolishness on the mind, family. We talked about this with this idea that was made during the caricature, unfortunate caricature and torture, really, right? Making fun of our dark-skinned brothers and sisters, where it comes to this idea during blackface times and minstrel shows and all this trash of the bully coon. We'll just let Snoopy play in the background for a minute. So these are just some of the things that occur, family, because it's the nature of things. Certain people got a lot of foolishness on the mind, and those who do not, that is in juxtaposition. Okay, they're opposed to each other. That's just what it is. Now, there is a way that we should operate. So this is the part where people really don't talk about. When we start talking about this love thy enemy and all that kind of thing, we get really superficial with it. Nobody is saying that you should be walked on, family. That's not the point. But there is a level of respect. Again, no contact, no conflict, right? We talked about that last time. Something else that I mentioned last time, talking about April Fool's Day. While, a lot of it primarily that day is dealt with over in Europe. Did y'all know, family, that part of the April Fool's joke that happened over there was because back in the day, people celebrated the spring, March 25th. Right. That was the new year. A holiday later on in France dealt with April Fools kind of as a joke to people. Some of this has a religious tone to it because it's dealing with the Annunciation. I'm not going to go into the Annunciation. Basically, it's dealing with Christ coming, just as the word says, it's announcing. Okay. And that time period was during the spring. Okay. This is where you get a lot of this. It's a joke on folks because you think between the Gregorian and Julian calendar, you've got a lot of this, which one is right and which one we're going to follow and all this kinds of stuff. So one person's making fun of the other. That's a little bit of what goes on in April Fools. They kind of dumbed all that down now to where we just make jokes with each other. Okay. But there are some people who believe because back in the day they celebrated New Year's Day on the 25th, that those who celebrated on January 1st made fun of these people. That's what that is. And again, here on this podcast, we'll let you know life is growing, life is showing, trees are getting green, so on and so forth, because it's warmer, right, over here on the Northern Hemisphere. So as a result, it's a new year. Okay. See, again, man is playing with time here. Okay. That's just the name of the game. Right. And when that's some other things that we have to square away with. So getting into all of the time of season. Right. Did y'all enjoy your National Walking Day? I know I did. Me and the missus went out. We kind of, walked around some malls. We had a whole lot of, we did ourselves a good amount of walking here where we're living. Right. Or big mall, I should say. We'll say it that way. Right. You get your steps in however you get your steps in. We did it while we were looking at clothes and stuff. Right. Again, for those out there on the trail, walking on the trail, different ways you can walk. Why do I mention this? Because we kind of regulate, hey, if you ain't doing it this way, you ain't doing it. No, get out there and do it. That's the point. Man, my mom back in the day talking about around the malls, man, she burnt them miles. Shout out to my mom in heaven one time, man. Mrs. J, Mrs. Jimerson in the building, right? Understand, family, that hey, I don't know really how to tell people, man. I don't. You got to get out there and walk, family. Just get out there and walk, right? Now, as a result, and I use my mother as a backdrop here. Because there's an issue for us all, right? It's going to getting yourself checked. We're talking about this month is Minority Health Month. Look at the word minority one time. Of course, the more you keep studying about yourself, a knowledge of yourself and things like this, you you start to realize there's a lot of hoaxism going on, right? You really do. You really do. Again, because you yourself couldn't be what they say. Minor, right? Minor. Before we get into minority, look at the base of that word, which is minor. Lesser importance, seriousness, or significance. Family, those who they call in the minority, are you lesser? This will help you on the inside, family, right? This is some good stuff for the inside, for your mind, for your soul, okay? Lesser importance, seriousness, or significance. That's as an adjective because that's what they're describing you. That's what they believe, man. That they think you're minor, right? Shout out to the young ones on the podcast, the young people, unfortunately, that have to deal with adults who do not have their self correct. And Kendrick Lamar bringing it to light by saying a minor, right? Pedophilia is a no-no here, family. We stand firmly against that here on this podcast. This is, again, it's about free will, free choice. And you forcing children to do that mess is wrong, right? Clearly, back in the day, you got the backdrop for it where people are taking young queens at an early age. You can blame some of this stuff on feudal type life. Really, we think went away. It really didn't. Just changed the names of the titles. But it's just many of the same element of tyranny, so on and so forth. Right? So, minority, dealing with the idea that, who is small, who is insignificant, a smaller part. That's the noun. That's the noun of it. We are not in the, look, go across the world, family, just with your own eyes, right? You hear what they're telling you. Again, look with your own eyes that the maker gave you. You got your Aborigines that we keep talking about in Australia. You look all up and down Asia, you got a lot of tan, even there's some dark-skinned folks, man. You get in some of them jungles, man, there's some dark-skinned folks that are Asian, right? India. Let's take it step by step. Right? I think it's self-said with India. When you go over into, we're talking globally now. Of course, you got a mixing pot here in the United States. It's a little different, right? Again, you got to spread out your wealth. Which is, never mind. We're gonna leave it alone. Again, for my people who really are repentant in the thing, this is what this verse is saying in the Chronicles. It's time to repent. Let it go. Right? All it's doing is hurting us. It's not helping us. Trying to keep this monopoly mess going it's hurting us. Let's see. So we got India over there. We're talking Indonesia areas. Of course, we mentioned Asia. We'll pass by Europe. We could in Europe talk about Sicily one time. Unfortunately, you got a lot of mess there between Italians and Sicilians because of the darker skin tone, right? We'll leave that alone. Just boil it down. We can talk all other interpersonal, interfamily stuff, darker skin tones, okay? Let's see, Africa, of course, right? A lot of dark brothers there, dark sisters there, right? Come over to the Americas and you islands, doesn't matter the islands, it's the Americas, right? North, South, Central, the islands, Americas. Our native brothers and sisters are one we talk about. Of course, our Mexican brothers and sisters go all the way down, Brazil, Argentina, it doesn't matter, all up in there, as they say. Dark skin tone folks. So where's the minority at? Yeah, we'll leave it alone. Family, the minority part, they got you believing is in your mind. It's in your mind. They enforce it through rules and the gun And when we say rules, we mean laws, right? And the gun, which again, laws should be elevating a society. Clearly, you can see the laws are elevating their society, not yours. That's why you know when you look at the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, 3 papers, that there's three communications that they're using here where they're not being true. Because this thing is not for everybody. It's for the thems they want. Minority Health Month. Here's what I looked up here, just in talking about. And before we get into that, Autism Acknowledgement Day. We want to give special mention here to those in the family who may be listening who are autistic. Excuse me. Okay, let's just look here real quick, because again, the conversation is more on minority health. Again, these are the people that they put. You know, when we talk on folks who have disease, who have issues, April 2nd, designated by the United Nations in 2007, which this should have been before that, but you take what they give you, right? It is what it is, family. Again, for those who love their children and even their spouses, right? Parents who deal with autism. While we sat there, less now than back then, but still that garbage goes on. We making fun of people who have autism, family. What if that was you? What if that was me? See, the heart of a thing is missing. That's why I keep saying that. The heart of a thing is missing. Let's just read this here real quick. See if I can find it. I know I had it here. There we go. What is autism? Very easy search. It's not. See, again, the knowledge is right in front of your hands, family. It really is. People do not want to go looking for it, right? Man, we got to make excuses on what's fake news and all that. Nah. It ain't that fake. It ain't as fake as what you think it is. Yeah, the man got control of the media and all that kind of thing. But again, truth is hidden in earthen vessels, family. So we get your best Inspector Clouseau, right? Shout out to Pink Panther one time, or Sherlock Holmes, right? Get out your best magnifying glass. Start looking. Autism spectrum disorder, the acronym ASD, is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects a person's ability to communicate, interact with others, and understand the world around them. Is this something we're supposed to be making fun of, family? No, it's not. No, it's not. Again, we re-reference the Good Samaritan story. When your brother and sister has fallen among thieves, and they have to deal with these issues in their life. This pours over to a whole lot of other issues, man, that go on in life. Are we to sit there and walk away? Should we kick them a little more while they're down? Or do we help them, put them on our own back, get them to the places of healing? Family, again, we're going to have to square away with a lot of this in our own souls, minds, hearts, and spirits, man. We're going to have to, right? Life dictates it, demands it, matter of fact. Just because we don't do so doesn't mean that what the reaction then that occurs won't happen, because it does. No, shout out to those who deal with that. The same thing with like ALS, cerebral palsy, excuse me. Multiple MS, I'll just say it that way, my apologies, right? Multiple sclerosis, there you go. Man, it took a minute to say that. My apologies, family, right? There's people out here, they got a story to tell. They got a story to tell just the same. And we show love to them just the same, right? So, let me see. Yeah. Talking about Minority Health Month. So minority is really majority now. You realize that? Okay. Okay, in a system where you got to set up again to keep stolen goods, this is where we start using these words. We start flipping and doing that. That's just the name of the game, okay? What's the percentage of black male heart failure in the U.S., y'all? We're not even doing the world. We're just saying in the U.S., right? Matter of fact, I might do the world here just for the fun of it as well. That's just, again, we're not, this takes like 5 minutes, y'all. While precise global percentages for heart failure, again, a lot of this stuff here, again, people do this, oh, well, where are you getting your info? Thankfully that, again, you talk about like internet for dummies, and I'm not saying I'm a dummy, but we're talking about you got to make the thing simple and plain. You know, there's a certain thing out there where you talk simple and plain to people. People need simple and plain speech, which I'm down with that. These references come from the Cleveland Clinic, WebMD, all pulling from people who are talking to each other about how black folks is dying in this country, in this planet. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and do this like, I don't know, man. No. We know. Did everybody watch? This is something that you can look up. Bishop T.D. Jakes, while he was sitting there, not admitting to it and all that kind of thing. The man had a stroke during a message, y'all. Did you see that? A mini stroke, whatever you want to call it. You can look it up. You saw, who was the brother just died a heart attack on stage, man? Who was that? Good Lord, his name, rap artist. I can't think of his name. Gosh, I can't think of his name, man. I gotta take a pivot, man. I gotta. Yeah. Let's see. Fat Man Scoop, right? Literally in his name. You can look up online and watch him die, family. Again, it's almost like we get off on pain. But then again, at the same time, y'all, it's necessary to watch. You know why? Because for too long, the mess has been hidden behind the scenes. So for the police who were showing impropriety out there and not serving and protecting, but using the power and so on and so forth to hurt people, to persecute people. So much so back in the day, you took the blessed canine, man, and you put dogs, God's creation, on the black man and woman standing in protest for themselves. This is what we did now. And there's nothing to answer to for that. No, you got a lot of people here who are dealing with a lot of heartache, a lot of literally heartache, okay? Heart disease. The global percentages for heart failure, specifically within the black male population, they say are difficult to pinpoint. It ain't. We can look at each other. We look at, again, we talked about me. I'm not excluding me, y'all. Come on. We deal with heart issues. Get healthy. Keep walking, right? One day, that's all well and good, man. Use this whole month to start your platform where you walk consistently. Talking about my mother, man, she used to walk around them malls, man. And we all know these, we all know big mamas, right? Mamas, we know they get on, because again, too many people staring at all types of stuff today, right? So they're trying to help you out. Again, not saying that looking at each other ain't wrong, but man, sometimes we got, okay? So they put on the sweatshirt around the hips and so on and so forth, okay? And they just start walking. That's it, man. That's it. Very simple. You go over to we just named some nations here, man. You go into some of these places, that's all they're doing is walking now. They ain't got cars and stuff not like that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, life is advanced over time here, but man, you go walk, man. Our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters, I didn't mention them. They're no minority, man. It's the majority, bro. It's the majority, sis. Come on. So while they say it's difficult to pinpoint, black men are disproportionately affected by heart failure, with 70% higher risk compared to white men. Okay, that's in the world. 70%. And we talked about 60 to 7% of the black women that are single parents, right? In the U.S., same stuff. You got American Heart Association journals and so on and so forth, right? You got a lot of stuff. Again, VCU Health comes up. Cleveland Clinic again comes up. When you search over in the U.S., again, what you type in your phone, computer, what is the percentage of black male heart failure in the U.S.? Black men in the U.S. have a significantly higher risk of heart failure compared to white men, with black men having 70. We're just only doing one of these, okay? We're just timing it on the health one, the heart one, excuse me. In the health, we go to a lot of different. We go to different things, right? The black men having 70% higher risk, and there are different things to talk about, but we're just highlighting this one. I want to let's see, because they had that. Here it is. Black race and cardiovascular disease. This article is coming from professional.heart.org, right? So, National Heart Association. Based on 2015, 28 to 2018 data among non-Hispanic blacks. Now, it's funny how they keep doing that, non-Hispanic. And we coming to the end here, family. Non-Hispanic black adults, 20 years of age and older. So, for those of y'all waiting, don't wait, because the thing is coming to you quicker than you think. 60% of the males and 58.8% of the females, again, non-Hispanic, we're talking black folks, have had CVD. That's their abbreviation for cardiovascular disease. That's 2018. 2019, among all ages, they break down the number. It's now, of course, they're studying, they're giving numbers. Of course, some of these numbers can fluctuate. 57,000, it's almost 58,000 of black males and almost 55,000 of black females are dying from cardiovascular disease. Family, that there ain't no, we're 13% of the population. In the Bible, it talks a lot about this idea of the Jubilee and getting back what was stolen, and we shout and run around the church and all that kind of thing. Family, the power is in your hands. The power is in your hands. We got to listen. I know that Massa gave us his version of what foods is good for us to eat. I heard it said a certain way, man. If we did everything opposite that Master taught us, we'd actually be better off. We would be. Not to stay on the plantation, right? Not to kneel down, knuckle under people who are usurping their authority over you. If we just did the opposite of a lot of things they have given us in this life. Again, we talked about the different points of human activity, man, right? As laid down by Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. Awesome stuff when I found this out. It's really helped me in my life, y'all, which is why I share it. If you do the opposite of what the education they gave you, which means you got to read all day, read all night, y'all. In between watching Power, or as the show was before a whole lot of foolishness started with Empire, right? So on and so forth, man. Right in between all that, man, get you a book, read like 2 paragraphs a day, man. Or as you increase, chapters a day, right? They made it illegal for us to read, family. Why do you think that is? Because we dumb, stupid, like they say? Or because by the time we get that information, it's going to unlock so much that it makes us dangerous to the system they created? Deuteronomy 8:18, man, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he. Now, of course, he, we know God. And keep doing the he thing, man. It's more than he with God, man. Oh boy, if everybody, again, like we always talk about, everybody got a problem with the she's and all this kind of stuff, man. Listen, God, male and female, right? Okay. It's God that gives you power to get wealth, so that God can establish his or her, God's covenant, which he swore unto your forefathers this day. That's Deuteronomy 8:18, family. God is giving it. Now, of course, in this chapter, it's dealing with how you deal, right? The code laid out to the Jews, the Semitic, the desert people at that time, right? But at the same time, let's not just be that we can't see this. You've been given all the abilities, we have been given all the abilities, family, necessary. Wealth is not just in this. When they talk about wealth, man, this thing is more than. I'm not going to go into the word because we're trying to finish up here. I've already got y'all 40 minutes. We're going longer than we needed to, right? We've had some interesting things happen today, whether it's been the rain, thunder, and all kind of stuff, right? Power to get wealth, y'all. You do. And to pass it down, because if you can get it, you can give it, y'all. Just the nature of the word wealth alone shows that you're passing it down. Again, we're talking the enmity of things. For those who are passing down wealth, this is why when the Christian sit here and talks about, oh, we're supposed to live lowly, man, God is talking. So what happened between Deuteronomy all the way up into the New Testament? Where did see again, the sound mind thing is not, and to each their own. This isn't really a full on knock, man. But again, this is my observation here. What are we doing, y'all? If you can have folks, let's just be clear here, because again, we want to, Donald Trump didn't do this, didn't do that. How many different billionaires, millionaires, thousandaires? You got some people balling and rolling around with $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600,000 and so on in their pocket before they hit $1 million, right? Just being mean, full of malice, not being honest, right? These people can make money. So what about the other way around? Oh, no, KJ. See, when you live in the other way, man, it's going to be less money. What? Again, this is talking about religion as one of the people activities. One of these 9 points of when belief, right? If you would just do things opposite the way Master has taught you, we'd be all right, man. When it comes, don't give me what you've taught me to believe. Give me what the Maker put down here for me to believe in. Much of that I can see with my own eyes. The sheep stays away from the wolf, because the nature of that wolf is to kill that sheep. The canine has an innate, not instant, I don't know what I was trying to say, an innate ability to protect themselves. That's where the barking is coming from. That's where all of that is coming from. Given to them by the Maker. Not to create calamity everywhere and all that kind. This is why we train our pets. But to be used in the time when necessary. Shout out to the canine trainers one time, man. Again, instead of sicking dogs on black folks trying to get freedom, again, keeping that robber out your house is a difference, right? Nah, family, a lot of what we have been told ain't it. It ain't it. Okay. And the more that we keep learning, the more that we keep pushing, the more we'll see that life really does truly have a different view, family, right? It really does. So that's where we're going to stop it today, family. That's where we're going to stop it today. Thank you very much for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.